You got questions, we've got answers. Just ask Kenan.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Kenan here. It's time for another Ask Kamp Kenan episode, and I got to tell you something. It looks nice out, doesn't it? Clear skies, blue skies. It's a bit windy, but it is freezing. It is right now about 50 degrees in Florida, which is way too cold. Last night actually got down into the 30s here in Florida, so I've been super stressed out. And man, it's just not been good. I've been running water to keep animals warm. I've been keeping animals locked up in their enclosures. And I just noticed while I was talking to you, I got a Greek tortoise that is out when he should be locked in. Luckily, these guys can take some cold temps. He's trying to soak up any kind of sun he can. So when I finish this video, I'm going to put him into the heat shelter as well. Man, I got to tell you, I'm not having fun here today. Super stressful to make sure these heaters are working and animals are okay. Very stressful on animals at this time because I got to keep them locked up, and it's going to be another couple of days before I can get them out. Which brings me to the question at hand. Edward Meeks, one of our Patreon supporters, asks me, and I'm going to paraphrase his question, okay, because I can't read it because it's on my phone and I'm actually using it to film. So here's what's going on. He asks, hey Kenan, he's got a couple of young sulcatas. And basically he wants to know, even though they don't hibernate and they are raised indoors, can they still tell that it's going to be cold outside, and will they slow down? And the quick answer is yes. And he even asks, even though they have their supplemental heat, they're inside, it's warm and so on, he says he's had some nights in the days in the 40s and nights in the teens. Well, what happens with animals like sulcatas and reptiles in general is they have something called a circadian rhythm. And basically that's how your body is set up with day, light cycles. It's your internal clock. And reptiles have a pretty good internal clock, as everything they do is reliant upon weather, and that's how they keep up their homeostasis in their body. They have to do external things to keep their bodies maintained. Homeostasis is the stability with inside of a system or an organism. It's keeping things at a nice operating temperature. So these guys, the sulcatas, don't hibernate in nature or have to, but they will experience times of dormancy if it's too hot or too cool. But it's not a true hibernation or brumation because they don't fully shut down. There's still some body functions that are happening. So that's the danger. For example, I'm going to peek inside this right now. Hopefully I can. Yes. Good. Here's everybody. You see they're moving around in here. So these guys are moving around. I'm going to take a reading of the temperature right now so we can see how well this heater is working. It's 82 degrees. So these guys have some room to move, although they do know that because it's been dark in here and they do know that the outside is cold, they're going to be a little bit more dormant. Let's see what this young lady is right now. Let's see what her temperature is. Just outside temperature. She's 63 degrees. You see that? So the animals moving closer to the radiator are going to be a little bit warmer. So at 63 degrees, she's definitely in a cool area, but it's not lethal. So my answer to your question is, I'm going to shut this because I don't want these guys to get cold, okay? Because it's actually way too cold today to even let them out. Hopefully by Saturday, I'll be able to get these animals out. Hey, wait a minute. Saturday is when this video goes up. I just gave it away. It's actually Thursday, the 4th of January. And as I mentioned, Florida's having a pretty deep freeze. This is deep for us. So we've got animals locked up. But Edward, to answer your question, maintain, you got to really have a thermometer and you got to know the temperatures, because sometimes when it's really, really cold out, our oil burners up north and our heaters up north are working overtime, and what we feel may not be what the reptiles feel. They are way more sensitive to hot and cold than we are. So it is possible that the ambient temperature has dropped in your home to where this animal is not operating or functioning to its full behavior. So I would get out the old thermometer. I like these from these temp guns. You could go to tempgun.com and check those guys out. It's a simple little inexpensive device that will definitely help you guys out. And you got to take those temperatures and make sure the basking temperatures are over 100 degrees for sulcatas. They got to be around 100, 105 degrees so these animals can stay nice and warm. They will pick up on differences in light cycles, okay? It's just going to happen. So whereas they're not truly hibernating, it is possible that your animals are slowing down in the winter because they have that internal clock. They just know they're in the northern hemisphere. They know that the days get shorter, the nights get cooler, and so they shut down a little bit. So keep them pumped up, keep them warm, and they may even slow down eating. And this is true of all reptiles. It could be ones that do not hibernate, but also ones that hibernate may become a little bit less active, like your Greek tortoises, your Russian tortoises, any kind of North American pond turtles are going to slow down as well. And I'm going to take a quick temperature reading. I've got the well going. You can see the water being disturbed here. The well is pumping and the water comes out around 72 degrees. Now, obviously, as it kind of filters out or flows out, it's going to get cooler. So let's take a temperature here at the edge here and see what we're dealing with. Get a surface temperature. That's great. I like that. 68 degrees. That's okay. For it to be 68 degrees this far away from the pump, that's fine. The turtles that are sensitive to the cold are going to congregate where the warm water is coming out. So those are the outputs, and I have the outputs. I have a PVC pipe that I drilled holes in and capped the end. So what happens is the water shoots out in all directions, and the turtles are gonna, they're gonna get smart and they're gonna kind of head on over to it. Uh-oh, we got somebody out here who shouldn't be out. It's a black-shelled Asian box turtle here. This is Malaysian box turtle, and this animal's trying to soak up any kind of solar radiation it can, but look at its temperature, 77 degrees. Black shells, guys, that's incredible. So it can actually just hang out here in the sunlight and get itself warm, get the surface temperature warm. Let's see what the temps are in the water here, closer to the output. Look at that, 2 degrees warmer, 70 degrees closer to the output. So that's what I'm doing to make sure these animals are okay and safe for the next couple of days. It's super stressful. Last night I came out at 4:30 in the morning. Edward, a little bit of a long and disjointed Ask Kamp Kenan, but I think there's a lot of information out there for everybody. So we're going to do as the years go on here, we're going to venture up north, and I want to meet people that keep animals up north. We're going to teach you how to keep them up north healthy, and make sure that we do a lot of how-to videos, how to keep your animals happy and healthy in northern climates. But it was a great question. I hope I helped you out. Bump up that heat and see if they're eating. And sometimes even with the change in temperatures, you can get some kind of respiratory ailments, which is super stressful, guys. So make sure the animal is functioning properly, okay? All right, everyone, and don't forget, if you want to have your question answered, go ahead and get on over to patreon.com, become a Patreon supporter, and head on over to the Kamp Kenan Army channel, because I want to see how you're keeping your animals up north. Send us videos for the Kamp Kenan Army channel. I want to see what everyone's doing. Special shout out to Chuck Horn, who had a great video that's up on the channel about his leopard tortoise. So really stoked on that. I enjoyed watching that and seeing how he takes care of his animals. So I want to know what you guys are doing. I watch him, I comment, and what we're going to do also is once a month, I'm going to pick what I think is the coolest video, and we're going to send you a t-shirt. So go ahead and get on over to the Kamp Kenan Army channel and subscribe. And if you haven't subscribed to this channel, please do it as well. We are trying to build an online encyclopedia for how to take care of these animals, keep them happy, keep them healthy, and give you guys tips how to raise reptiles in the right way. Man, oh man, it is cold and there's not a head on the surface of my pond. That is strange. Oh wait, there's a cooter. Look at this, guys. Here comes a little cooter, and this is a North American animal. So this kind of weather is no big deal. I don't know if you guys can see it. She's swimming over. I don't think she's going to eat, but my goodness, here she comes. How cool is that, everybody? Can you guys see her? Up. Definitely not the happiest weather, but there is a little cooter popping up to the surface. All right, everyone, there you go. There's your turtle for the day. I'll talk to you later. Kenan here saying so long and stay warm. We got bomb cyclones in the northeast. They're affecting our weather down here. The squirrel doesn't seem to mind. So long, everybody.